Thanks a lot, everybody, for being and joining with us. I'm really excited to have esteemed and renowned panelists for this fascinating panel talk, this fascinating Metaverse Summit 2023 online edition panel talk. And with Tim Draper and Jesse San, we'll try to understand how VCs invest in the current Web3 market, may I say the current Web3 bear market phase. So we will start just by a little introductions. Could you, Jesse and Tim, introduce yourselves in a few sentences for the audience?
Go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, Tim, after you.
Oh, okay. I'm Tim Draper. I'm a venture capitalist with Draper Associates. We invest in startups and mostly in technology and look for big, huge opportunities where the incumbents are doing a bad job. And we love Web3. We love the whole concept of the Metaverse because I think when systems are decentralized, they're more effective and more efficient. And I also am on a show called Meet the Drapers. We have 70 million viewers now, and the new season 6, is starting right about now, in the next 2 weeks. And we have Draper University of Heroes for entrepreneurs that we started about 12 years ago, and it's been very successful at launching potential entrepreneurs and helping them think about their businesses. So that's me. Mostly, it's all about venture capital for me.
Beautiful. Jesse?
Hey, yeah, my name is Jesse Song. I have been in blockchain crypto ever since 2013 or 14. And ever since, I've been involved in several projects. And recently, we launched Conduct, which is an incubator and accelerator for several projects, for a lot of the projects. Well, everything is about blockchain. I mean, the whole idea, decentralization, and the whole spirit of Web3 is something I've been diving in and involved for a long time. We're looking for projects which have innovation, and also we support the ecosystem.
Excellent. And so let me ask you a few questions on actually the challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs and maybe some VCs face at the moment, such as any challenges, pitfalls, and also opportunities of the moment. We are in a bear market phase. So basically, we've had a great 2021 year for the whole industry. 2022 and the first semester of 2022 was pretty good, not too bad. And the first semester of 2023, as far as Web3 investing and Metaverse investing are concerned, were really disappointing, to say the least. So my question for you both is, what's the current state of the market? And what do you see as a good potential investment in Web3 or in the Metaverse field for the moment?
Well, I can take a shot at that. First of all, when the government has centralized currency, and that centralized currency, they have central banks. And that centralized currency is at the mercy of governments. And if they decide they want to spend a lot of money, then all of a sudden we have inflation because our dollar is worth 90 cents, 80 cents, whatever. And that creates interest rates that pop up. And when the interest rates pop up, then people are less willing to risk their money in something that has, potentially a high return, but is riskier. So that means that we have less money to invest in startups. There is less money out there. And startups are pounding the pavement. They're doing everything they can to raise money, and it's a very difficult time. Same with venture capitalists. We are having a difficult time raising money. We kind of all rise and fall together. So that as the backdrop means that you as an entrepreneur need to get your money from customers. And that is really where you've got to focus. Now, what are we looking for? We're looking for you. We're looking for any entrepreneur who's really still in a bear market, willing to brave the wild tempests and run through fire to get to where they're trying to go. And we're looking for entrepreneurs that are out to delight their customers, to make sure that their customers are as happy as possible. And they're coming at an industry with a very different approach. We always have more success when they're coming at an industry with a different approach. And relative to Web3 and the Metaverse, I think it's coming. I think the whole idea of a decentralized world where we're all interconnected and we're all a part of one amazing economy with lots of different currencies and lots of different virtual governments, I think that's coming. And it's a matter of entrepreneurs finding just the right hook to get customers to do the right thing and be a part of that metaverse. And so I am very excited about wherever there's decentralization in not just currency, Bitcoin, that kind of thing, and improving the user experience of Bitcoin. I think that's going to be a big deal. I think improving governments and governance through decentralization, I think is going to be a big opportunity. I think there's a big opportunity in real estate, insurance, all of these things that can take advantage of a decentralized, a secure blockchain, a smart contract, an NFT or an ordinal. I mean, I also think that as AI comes into our world, the AI combined with Bitcoin, AI combined with the blockchain, smart contracts, that's going to completely transform our world. And I think everybody should be really thinking hard about how they can incorporate that into their entrepreneurial startup.
Jesse, what would you say?
Oh yeah, in the long run, I mean, the metaverse is very exciting. All the infrastructure, when we talk about metaverse, it's something we put together everything. It's not one technology will make the breakthrough. It's everything, infrastructure, the whole ecosystem, and which is very exciting. And if we look at the short term, we also, very often we're talking about the circle like every 4 years, which is like classic cycle in crypto and blockchain. We have seen this for the last 3 or 4 rounds, but which unnecessary will be the same. Because every day, I mean, the whole ecosystem is changing. But look at what is going on, especially in Singapore Blockchain Week. We see a lot of people get involved, especially from Web2, and those people from big company, big names like Google, like Amazon, Tencent, Alibaba. We see a lot of people from all over the world. They all get involved, which is a very exciting to see. And because those are people who have the experience from Web 2, which can make huge contribution. And so, I mean, in that sense, I mean, the whole ecosystem is booming.
So,
And no matter what you do, I mean, forget about the circle, because what you need to do is something like a really solid. Of course, timing is very important when it comes to bear markets or bull markets. It's important, but not as important as what you do. You choose something you're passionate about, and with all the supports from the venture capital, you definitely will succeed.
definitely. Yeah. So if I do understand it well, we have market condition, overall financing market condition that are very restrained from what they were maybe 2 years ago, because of how central banks used to pour billions and billions on the market, whether in Europe, in the US, in Japan, and in many other countries. And now, since there has been very tight restrictions because of inflationary pressure following COVID, now it gets harder and harder, even for reputable funds, to find LPs, investors, who actually get their money managed by good and reputable funds. So I would say, for you as a VC fund, how would you say, how would you judge a Web3 project in the current market, since we have user adoption that keeps on growing slowly, but is not as big as we wish it were, and we have tight monetary conditions?
Well, the way I would approach it, if I were a startup, is I would be looking to make it easier for the end user to move through their life from Web 2 to Web 3 around the world. The smoother it becomes, the better everybody is. So if I would love for, I think it's sort of a Steve Jobsian moment. It's a moment for a very clever user interface to make all of our lives much easier. And it brings together your assets, your money, your communications, your web searches, your artificial intelligence, your corporate experience. And it's all kind of an easy thing to work on. I've noticed that Google's now a mess. Very difficult to search Google. I've noticed that my email is also a mess. It's got a lot of fake email. It's got all sorts of bots. It's got all sorts of things. I've noticed that my money is a mess, because I have Bitcoin, I have other cryptocurrencies, and then I have dollars. I still have some dollars in the banks.
No one's perfect.
And governments don't recognize all of these currencies. They only accept one or two. I mean, in El Salvador, they recognize Bitcoin, but they don't in the US. I think that whole system needs to come together in a way where, I mean, we have the technology now to do all of our investing, raise all our money, have our companies pay all their employees and suppliers all in Bitcoin, pay their taxes all in Bitcoin, and have all the accounting done automatically on the blockchain with smart contracts. The waterfall can all drop the money in wherever it's supposed to in smart contracts. This is a major, major opportunity, but so it kind of needs a Steve Jobs to go work with the IRS, work with the the banks, work with the Bitcoiners, work with and pull them all together, and then combine that with a communications tool that allows us to send money easily, allows us to send information easily. So I think we're right on the cusp of something, and maybe it's one of you out there that has that ability to bring it all together and say, here it is, the iPhone, whatever it is. It's like whatever Steve Jobs worked toward, he finally got us to the iPhone, and it was magic. I think it's time for another piece of magic.
Absolutely. I mean, we're reaching a point where, we're talking about the mass adoption yesterday with the robot. And it's just right before that point. So many people have tried to, to do something. But as what we see yesterday, the day before yesterday, had a meeting with the Tom Foundation. I mean, with 8 million users, and Tom Foundation, I mean, working with the Telegram, they are actually doing something like mass adoption already. So as we don't even see it, it's already, I mean, the Web3 is already, I mean, everyday's life, which is a big opportunity. And as entrepreneur, you have to think about that. But despite this current situation where a lot of money goes to AI, which is surprisingly, with the ChatGPT coming to be, I mean, we are waiting for that moment in Web3 as well. So that big opportunity, come along, you have to think about how do I leverage that. Although different projects, focus on different things, some of them focus on infrastructure, which is great. Recently, we have been investing in one of the projects called Sunpei. They are doing storage, also with computing, function, which is infrastructure for the whole ecosystem. Has a huge potential. And also, when you're looking at the whole market, there are so many different directions. But what you need to do, I mean, really focus on something like with the long term and how you can utilize your own expertise, also with the help of the ecosystem, because it's all about collaboration, and which is something I see amazing in blockchain, crypto, Web3, because we are still at a very early stage, and the collaboration in this industry is amazing.
Definitely.
So many projects, easy to have collaboration, and people are so welcoming. That's one of the things. I mean, I really love Web3. So you have to take advantage of that, because we're building something together.
Definitely, yes, exactly. The collaboration part, that's very much at the source of any blockchain based project, and that really drives for great prospects on the future. May I ask another question? ROI, return on investment, is an important criterion for a VC, obviously. How would you say Web3 in the current market phase? How it offers maybe something more interesting than other more classical Web2 projects, or maybe less interesting than classical Web2 projects that can sometimes bring cash flows more easily in a short manner?
Well, if they don't have a Bitcoin strategy, if they don't have a strategy to participate in the metaverse or Web3, they're really not thinking of the future. They might be a little myopic. Now, maybe in a healthcare business where it's tied to CRISPR or stem cells or whatever, they don't have to think about that. But if it's anything to do with commerce or finance or currency or data, they've really got to be thinking of a Bitcoin economy before I get really excited about it, or other cryptocurrencies. This is coming. I mean, it's better currency, it's better technology, it keeps better records, it does it all automatically, it lends itself really well to AI. There are a lot of reasons to be backing entrepreneurs that are going after something around this industry. And ideally, they have one focus and they can wedge into an industry and then they can grow it. Steve Jobs didn't create the iPhone overnight. There was the iPod, there was there was that thing in between, that sort of tweener that wasn't a phone and wasn't quite just a tablet, and then it was the iPhone. And so you don't get there overnight. But I do think that entrepreneurs who are thinking, how do I make it easier for the customer to participate in this new technology that is better than everything else out there? That is a time. That's what I'm looking for. And yes, I think that kind of entrepreneur can outperform, because if you figure something out that's really great for 3 customers, it might really be great for 3 billion customers. And so I'm always looking for something where you can wedge into an industry, you can provide really great service or product to a couple of customers, and then those customers become your sales force and it spreads to everyone. So I'm thinking that, yes, these are the best investments. And actually, it's kind of interesting. I like investing where the industry has already been through its hype and then come back down. And the ones who are still working on it are the real entrepreneurs, the real startups, the ones that matter. We had this same thing in the internet. There was this huge boom and everybody thought the internet was going to be so great. And then it crashed. And during that crash, people were saying things like, oh, I'll never put my credit card on Amazon. This Google thing has viruses on it. I don't want a virus in my computer. What is a virus? You know, it was really ridiculous stuff going on. And then slowly but surely, people started to, and nobody even noticed, but 4 $1 trillion businesses happened because of the internet. I think the same thing's happening with Bitcoin. It went up, it had a hype monster, and everybody said, oh my God, this is so much better than everything else out there. And then they went, oh, wait, it's hard to use, and there are regulators getting in the way, and there are all sorts of things. And then, but slowly but surely, the real builders are working on it right now. The real engineers, the real software designers, the people who are really focused on product and providing great value to customers, they're working on it now. And when they start launching their products, it's just going to take off. So yeah, I think it's a good time.
So yeah, the survivors are still here, and the market valuation, the valuations might be pretty low. What would you say, Jesse? Is that perfect for VCs? Is this the perfect time to invest at the moment?
Well, I mean, first of all, for VC, the financial return definitely is something important, but at a very early stage, that's not the only thing. You look at the potential, what kind of potential they have. So that's most important. But if we have to talk about financial return, there is a timing, of course. Valuation is one of the factor we have to consider. And for the entrepreneur as well, now you see in bear market, because from this time around, even when 2 months ago in Paris, we still see the valuation is as, let's say, at the same level as before, as bull market. But now we start to see in Singapore this time around, the valuation came down. We used to be looking at a small project, like typically like 20 million valuation. Now you see 10 million, 12 million. It's quite common.
Yeah.
Which I would suggest for the entrepreneur out there, in bear markets like now, because generally the trading volume is really low. If you look at the trade volume and balance as well, the whole market. So you have to be realistic. Whatever you do, try to make sure you go through, you survive. And of course, we are at the stage where bull market not come yet. So you have to make sure that you will survive this period successfully. That's where you will get, with the support from VC, because funny situation that there's money out there, especially like the financial hub, like Singapore, like Hong Kong, but not so many VC now invest heavily this time around. People we're just observing and watching, because from the experience we see that if we wait a bit longer, like at the end of the year, that's kind of like our strategy. At the end of the year, whoever survive, first of all, prove themselves very strong, either financially or they have the ability to go through bear market. And secondly, the valuation goes down. That's what it looks like now. It's pretty tough time for entrepreneurs, but also it's the best time to test your ability. Now you have to really look at what is the real business model. What is make you different? Not just something like, oh, this is cool. This is like a really popular, some people are doing this, which is successful. I have to do it as well. That doesn't bring you success.
Definitely.
Hard time is actually to provide opportunity to, like,
I would say to focus on bringing the real value. It's the right time where you focus on value you bring to your users, to your community, and that's where maybe you can really test your products and your services.
Exactly.
Thanks, beautiful Jesse and Tim. We still have 1 minute left for this beautiful panel. So in a few words, can you tell me about the future prospects for your funds on Web3, on metaverses, on blockchain-related technologies? What's the most exciting future prospect, maybe in the next 6 months to 24 months? In a few words.
Well, we're exploring something fun called Draper Nation. And if you go to drapernation.com, you can sign up. And it has sort of a new philosophy in how governance can be virtualized. And so we're kind of excited about what might happen there. Otherwise, I think we've got a great opportunity here, all of us. to be the makers of this new world that is borderless and beautiful and has some amazing new features that make the world richer. You've got a decentralized world, and it can be a lot less. There could be a lot less friction, starting with Bitcoin, the blockchain, smart contracts.
Terrific, exciting prospects, Tim. Thanks. Jesse, any last words on future prospects?
Yeah, we're always looking for entrepreneur. So if you have a cool idea or you have a cool project, always welcome to reach out. We would love to work together, to build a whole ecosystem like we did before.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, Jesse and Tim, for these very bright prospects for a bright Web3 future and Metaverse future. And we are really excited for what's coming in the next 6 to 24 months. And this concludes this beautiful panel on VC investing in the bear market. Thank you very much. This is Metaverse Summit 2023 online edition.